I had to destroy this Dallas real-time clock module in order to fix it. This came from a 30-year-old Pentium that gives a CMOS error every time it boots up, because this is a DS12887 module, which has a built-in timing crystal and battery, so you can't replace the battery once it dies, and then you can't save things in CMOS and you'll get an error. There may be other ways to go about finding a replacement module or doing other modifications to the system, but I'm going to try a technique I saw on the Necroware YouTube channel where they took this module apart to remove the old dead battery and just use an external battery. The idea is to use some sort of hot air, either from a soldering rework station or a separate heat gun, the kind that you would use for things like paint stripping. And the outer casing of this module is some sort of plastic material that softens when you heat it up enough. So I started out trying to use a hot air rework station, but the opening was too small to heat up the entire module at once. So I switched over to one of those handheld heat guns. I put it on low heat. It only has settings for low and high, and I don't know the temperature. But I could control how exposed the module is by putting it there momentarily, moving it around, and then taking it away. And I used an old non-working hard drive as a metal work table so I can place the hot item. And after heating up the module several times, I was using a screwdriver, a metal spudger, and a sharp metal pick to try to pry into the bottom of this module and pry apart the outer plastic case. Since this is the first time trying to do this, it didn't go entirely smoothly, and I did end up cracking the plastic trying to remove it. All I need is to get it off of there. I'm not putting it back on, so eventually when I got that outer plastic off, the inside of the module is basically an IC, which is the real-time clock, and then some of the legs are bent upward inside the module, and there's a small internal battery as well as the clock crystal soldered onto various pins, and the whole thing is dipped in some sort of resin or epoxy. So it turns out, again, if you just keep heating up this material, it becomes brittle and you can chip away at it with that sharp pick. So I just kept heating this up, placing it on the metal work surface, and poking at it with a sharp pick as various pieces kept breaking off. And I don't need to get it fully clean, I just need access to the battery. So eventually I had enough pieces broken away that the battery itself could be removed from the top of the IC, and through observing how that was connected, as well as other online resources and looking at the datasheet, the negative terminal of the battery connects to the IC pin 16 and the positive battery connects to pin 20. So I took a CR2032 surface mount battery socket as opposed to one with through-hole pins, because the surface mount one will sit flat on top of the IC a lot better. And I took a couple of cut legs, probably from resistors, where I would have cut them off from installing parts on a PCB. I keep these cut leads for purposes like this, so I soldered one of these leads on each battery terminal and bent them into position as needed so they would go to the correct IC pins, and I made sure nothing was going to short on anything else. I soldered these battery terminals to the correct pins, and to keep the socket in place, I just put super glue between the bottom of the battery socket and the top of the chip, and I placed a few items on top for about half an hour to keep it in place and let the glue cure. Then I double checked to make sure I was getting battery voltage on those IC pins. Then I went and reinstalled the socket in the motherboard, powered it on, and then I just did an initial CMOS setup and saved settings to CMOS, rebooted, and no more error, and it retained the settings I put in. So now the next time the battery fails, I can just replace it directly on top of the chip.